Hello, welcome to another Better or Worse here on my channel. Today we're going to look at Alice in Wonderland 1951 versus Alice in Wonderland 2010. Both Disney movies, yes indeed. And of course this time again it is animated versus live action. It feels like that kind of month, in my opinion, yes. Topic number one are going to be story. For those that doesn't know, this basic story is that a girl named Alice is following a white rabbit into the rabbit hole, falls down and wakes up or ends up in Wonderland. You don't really know where Wonderland is, she just appears there. And crazy stuff happens, animals can talk, weird kinds of animals is there. What can you say? In the animated part, Alice is just walking around and experience the weirdness in Wonderland. One of the weirdest things, in my opinion, is the animals. One of those that is a shovel as a face, a bird is a shovel and as a face, and the rest of the body is just an ordinary bird. And something regularly other weird shit happens there, basically. And she ends up at the Red Queen's or Queen of Hearts, I think it is, castle, and there she is accused, I can't remember for what, but she's accused for something, and after that she runs away trying to get away from these crazy people, and everything turns out to be a dream. Or was it? Yeah. There was also an animated one, 1951. The 2010 isn't basically the ordinary story. Well, the 1951 wasn't either, but it were more focused on the ordinary story. 2010 is basically Alice has grown up a little bit. She is not a little girl anymore, and she is falling down the rabbit hole again, following the white rabbit. She ends up in this crazy world, crazy animals, but she ends up in a depressed Wonderland instead, and ends up in a fight between the Red Queen and the White Queen. It's more of a twist to the story, in my opinion. It isn't. They follow it somewhat, the ordinary story, but they show the weirdness in many aspects, but it doesn't give the ultimate story that the original story is, in my opinion. So, which one is actually the better one? The winner is Alice in Wonderland 1951. The reason for that is that the story is, in my opinion, more complex and more based on the ordinary story. Even though I like the live action one, it feels more like a sequel, in my opinion. It doesn't feel like a start of a franchise, because we're going to make a second one now to the live action one from 2010. So yeah. So weirdness. Topic number two are going to be effects and environments. Effects and environments in both movies are amazing, in my opinion. The animated one has beautiful aesthetics. The animation is wonderful. It is a Disney movie, of course. The live action one has the computer animated part, majority of it. Really greatly done, in my opinion. Everything seems to be wonderfully done, but sometimes, of course, feels a little bit fake, because the casters and everything sometimes look a little bit more like a caster from a game, or you know what I mean, from a games doesn't have the realistic feel as the movies real casters has, and yeah, something like that. Sometimes it feels like, but otherwise, in both movies there are great effects, and the environments are beautifully done. Wonderland in both movies are amazing, in my opinion. So topic number two are going to be a tie. I showed it anyway. because for this is basically that I like both effects and environments. Nothing is really standing out in my opinion that makes the other one better or worse. So that is my opinion for that. Topic number 3 are going to be side characters. Side characters in the live action movie is standing out more because they're actually trying to give these characters more story behind them, more what can you say, character development. In the animated one, 1951, they don't have that many side characters, that they are just sometimes there and sometimes isn't. When it comes to side characters in the animated one, you can basically say the Mad Hatter and the Rabbit parts. Those can be called side characters. I can't remember the cat's name, but the cat can be invisible, is sometimes a side character in my opinion, and the Red Queen. In the 2010 version, the live action one, they actually have more characters in my opinion that stands out. For better or worse, the White Queen in my opinion is just well, she isn't, well, what can I say, she isn't useful in my opinion. She just sits there and says, oh, in my opinion. The Red Queen in my opinion is really greatly done in both versions. They are both over the top and wonderful. The Mad Hatter have a much bigger role in the live action one, and not a much bigger role in the live action one than in the animated version, because, well, it's only they're playing the Mad Hatter in the live action one, and they wanted to give him a big role, so they made the Mad Hatter a main character basically. But I will not say he's a main character. He's just a side character in my opinion. Of course, as I said, more characters stands out in the live action one, and because of that, the winner is Alice in Wonderland 2010. Topic number 4 are going to be the best Alice. Both Alices have their flaws and their good parts. Alice in the live action one doesn't have this speech. She doesn't feel like a heroine. She just sometimes feels like a lost child, more like than the animated Alice, because she is really a lost child. But the one in the live action one just feels standing there sometimes, and just she isn't exciting. She isn't fun. She isn't anything exactly. She isn't bad either. It is just, it's a bland character in my opinion. She doesn't play it as well as she could have been, in my opinion. The animated version Alice is more played like she is exploring. She's an explorer. Everything seems weird sometimes, but of course in both versions Alice doesn't seem as surprised for everything as I would have been actually if I should have seen these creatures and characters. So. But of course the winner for this topic on the B, Alice in Wonderland 1951. Reason for that, as I said, she has more of a character than in the live action version. She actually gives some exploring. She feels like an explorer instead of the live action one just being like a bland character that just is there trying to be a heroine, because she basically say in the movie she isn't, but they push her into it, and yeah. And ultimate winner are going to be Alice in Wonderland 1951. Reason for that, of course, as I said before, it is a classic, but I really like both of these movies. There isn't anything in my opinion that stands out much in the animated one. The only thing that makes the animated one better is that the Alice, which is the main character, actually stands out more. and of course it's just the Disney classic, and it always feels like a great movie in my opinion, and that the story actually feels more based on the core element, even if I have read it isn't really as all close to the source material, but I feel it is kind of the better one. That's all for today, folks. Hope you liked it. Hope to see you next time.